Hey, listen, I'm filling in for Michael Dukes today. We're online, KBYR.com, KBYR.com. My first guest on the program today is Jonathan Taylor with a voice for malestudents.com. And the mission statement reads, the mission for a voice for malestudents.com is to advocate educational equity for men and boys. Jonathan, welcome to the show. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me on.
Well, no problem. And my apologies to you that you get the substitute teacher today, which we'll try to have some fun with it though anyway. But
good.
I have to ask you, Jonathan Taylor, because I don't know about your mission other than what I've read here on your fabulous website. Are men and boys lacking equity in education right now, in your opinion?
Oh, they most certainly are throughout the from start to finish in the education pipeline. I mean, you name the issue, they pretty much are lacking some very needed attention. Whether we're talking about, educational achievement, whether we're talking about just some of the cultural bias we're talking about in our institutions, and, whether we're talking about, how students are, disciplined and punished, there's all around, there's a lot of problems that men and boys are facing in academia.
I have to ask, you no doubt, Jonathan Taylor, you no doubt run into feminists from time to time. What do they think of your mission?
Oh, they don't really like it so much because in the feminist worldview, a lot of them tend to view the conversation around equality as something that should be centered on women. So a lot of them, unfortunately, view any kind of advocacy for men and boys as something that's taking away from women and girls. There's this, equality at the end of the day is kind of like sharing, and it's very easy for people to talk about sharing whenever other people are sharing with us, but when we have to share with others, it's a different story for some folks. And increasingly, as advocacy is ramping up for men and boys in academia, feminists, they do kind of tend to be a little bit territorial about that. So,
wouldn't they tell you, though, that Title IX came about as a result of it being, the scales being so tilted towards men and boys that there was just no choice? I mean, what do you say to that? I mean, let's talk about Title IX then.
Yeah, well, Title IX, came about in 1972, and back then, back in the 60s and the 70s, there was a huge lack of women and girls in academia. There was also, lots of problems with girls' sports, and so that's not to say that those issues didn't exist back then, and don't still exist to some degree today. But what we're seeing a lot of the times is the problem is not so much Title IX, but rather a lot of the guidelines that have been basically set forth by the Department of Education to interpret Title IX that have really kind of gone against the original spirit of Title IX and have gone from tearing down barriers to educational equity to actually putting up barriers to educational equity. And that's just as a result, that's the inevitable result of the conversation being so lopsided for really the last 30 years.
And it seems to me, by the way, you're listening to the Michael Dukes Show. Our guest is Jonathan Taylor with a voice for malestudents.com, informing, connecting, and empowering. It seems to me that, Jonathan, that, I don't know, on either side of this issue, take the feminists and Title IX and or a voice for male students. What about results, and what about we're spending so much money? I think on average in this country, just take grade school and high school students, we're spending about $16,000 to $18,000 per student, and we're getting poorer and poorer results. Do you see the gender inequality, be it on your side or the feminist side? Is that part and parcel of that, or should we just throw out both sides and just say, let's focus on results?
Well, I do definitely think that we should have a results focus. I think that should take priority, that we should focus on, what gets good results. Really, there's so much wasteful spending when it comes to academia, and a lot of it goes to what I would call what is called administrative bloat. On a lot of college campuses, there's now, and increasingly in lower education as well, there are now so many administrators that they just, in some cases, outnumber a lot of faculty, especially on college campuses, and that's one of the reasons why the price of education has just skyrocketed over the last several decades. One of the big reasons, because they're just going to pay these administrators. Because there's a lot of laws that say administrators should increasingly become involved in the lives of their students, which opens them up to lawsuits when things don't go so well. And the administrators themselves tend to make a pretty decent salary, anywhere from $50 to $200K a year. So it's more money all around, and it's more money that could be better spent elsewhere. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that college could be made cheaper. That's a whole other can of worms there.
And on your website, it looks as though you're looking to recruit writers. You're looking for people to contribute to your website. In what capacity and what kind of qualifications would somebody need?
Well, qualifications, really, I mean, people just need to back up what they say with evidence. That's really the basic qualification, but also it has to kind of fit the mission and values of the website. And we're looking for all sorts of people, not just writers. We're also looking for people who are researchers. We're starting up a research database for academic achievement, and we're hoping to make that a national resource for all advocacy groups across the nation that talk about educational equity. And really, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that we're focused on right now. And, we can use all the help we can get because there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, interesting. Honestly, and I'm, as I said, I'm substitute teacher, so you're lost today. I'm sorry, but it is interesting to me. I never would have thought that there was a need for such an organization or for such advocacy. And maybe Jonathan, because I grew up, the year I was born was when Title IX was enacted. And number one, number two, I have only daughters, and all the way through school, I just never thought anything about gender and or equality between the two sexes through school. So this is actually kind of a fascinating thing to me. How did you get involved? Are you the brainchild of this, or how did it get started?
Yes, I'm the founder and the publisher of the organization. I basically started it, and I was a teacher. I was teaching in the A&M system, and I witnessed firsthand some of the bias that occurred behind closed doors against men and boys. I saw that there was a problematic culture there that really was not going away. It was getting bigger, and it was starting to affect policy changes on the local and the national level. And so, yeah, I saw that there was a need, and no one was really addressing it. And actually, those people who did start to address it tended to be kind of looked down upon or marginalized.
Yeah, I think so.
And so I started up my website and really just tried to recruit people to join the cause, and, here I am today.
And the website is avoiceformalestudents.com. And you've got a Facebook presence, and it looks like Twitter, and you do yourself, you do some public speaking engagements. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, I have one later on this year in Houston, Texas. It's going to be the second international conference on men's issues. And, and then in November I did one at Kennesaw State University. It's those are very helpful in getting the word out as well.
There's a conference on men's issues? I had no idea. We have so many. That's going to be like a 10-year conference. Oh my God. I didn't realize it. Now, international conference on, I'm just flabbergasted. I didn't know men had issues. I mean, I know we have issues, but.
Well, both men and women have issues. And the reality is that, the conversation on gender equity for the last, 100 years really has just centered on women. So, a lot of people just don't know the issues. There's a great website called, Voice for Men. If you want to, they tend to do sort of like the general men's issues, whereas I tend to focus on just education. But there's a link on my website as well. I don't have it on hand, but it's under the Know the Issues menu at the top, and you can find just a sort of a general introduction to men's issues there as well.
All right. The website is avoiceformalestudents.com. Jonathan Taylor, thank you for being part of the program today, Jonathan.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. And we've posted a link to his website as well on KBYR's Facebook page. So find us there. I'm Chris Story, filling in for Michael Dukes here on the greatest show on earth. Stick around for news and weather and a whole lot more. We'll see you in just a minute.